Congresswoman Val Deming. She is a member of the House Judiciary Committee and is one of the 59 Democrats who support opening an impeachment inquiry. Congresswoman, good to see you.
Hi, Chuck. Good to see you as well.
So let me ask, are you surprised that there wasn't a greater number willing to go public about impeachment? Here we are 1 week removed from Robert Mueller's, at the time, stunning public remarks.
Chuck, no, I really wasn't, because, to begin an impeachment proceeding or process is a major undertaking. And for me, as a former law enforcement officer, I said, along with the majority of my colleagues in the very beginning, let's wait to see what is in the Mueller report and kind of take our direction from that. Well, after reading their report, I've said 2 months ago, and I still say today, I believe there is enough in that report to show that the president clearly obstructed justice, tried to prevent others from cooperating, persons around him lied,
Right.
They've been indicted. I believe there's more than enough right now to begin those proceedings. But look, I have the utmost respect for our speaker. She's the speaker. She has a lot more to consider. She has to look at the bigger picture than what's going on in the Judiciary Committee. So I'm not really surprised at the number of people who have not come out publicly. When we have private conversations, a lot of people are frustrated. They are impatient.
Right.
They feel the way that I do. But let them figure it out. We want to get this right. And so, but for me, I believe we have enough and we're ready.
It's interesting that, do you believe, it was interesting, Jim Clyburn over the weekend, and he sort of walked it back a little bit. He was implying the idea that impeachment feels inevitable, that it's not, you're not ready now, but you're getting close. Are you one of those that believe, and I know he walked back the comment, do you believe it's going to happen, you're just not there yet, or this is a 50-50 proposition?
Yeah, let me say, when you read the Mueller report, clearly the president multiple times either obstructed justice or attempted to obstruct justice. We know right now, Chuck, that he is continuing to obstruct justice by not allowing those around him and those who are former staffers to obey lawful subpoenas that have been issued that prevent us from doing the investigations that the American people expect us to do. Now, I heard what the majority whip said. I believe if we stay on this path and justice is continued to be obstructed and we're unable to provide the oversight and do the investigations we need to do, I don't see how impeachment is not inevitable.
Congresswoman, how would you, if you got to run, I assume you're going to run for re-election. I don't want to make assumptions, but assuming you run for re-election a year from now and you're out there campaigning, and you've not opened an impeachment inquiry, do you think that's a tougher thing for you to explain to your constituents? Or do you think yeah, go ahead.
I think a major part of what we're doing right now, is to make sure that the American public, people in my districts and districts all over this country, understand exactly what the impeachment process means, what it involves, and really lay out the case to them. We know they don't have time to read all 400 and something pages of the Mueller report. So it's up to us to lay the case out for them. It was so significant for the American people to hear Bob Mueller in his own voice explain some of the most significant portions of that report. But, I keep an open dialogue with the people in my district. Of course, they are asking, when are you all going to begin impeachment? Some are asking, could you explain what that means? And I'm being sure to just keep the lines of communications open for them so they'll understand those who are in favor, but clearly understand those who are not quite there yet. So we can all move forward and deal with some of the issues, really, that we have been sent to Congress to deal with, like health care and other issues that the American people worry about.
I'm curious, does it matter to you that polls are showing that a majority aren't there yet on impeachment? We got one in Michigan showing a majority in Michigan. This is a swing state where right now Democrats are polling very well against Trump, but a majority don't want impeachment. I know in Florida that number's even higher of people that don't want impeachment. Does that have an impact on you at all? That, you're in the swingiest of swing states.
Yeah, I am.
If you thought, if somebody came to you and said, you know what, impeachment is going to mean the difference between Florida going red or blue, and starting impeachment is going to push it red, would that have an impact on you?
Chuck, you know, I wish that I had the luxury for me to make every decision as a former law enforcement officer or now as a member of Congress based on how popular or unpopular that decision would be. I don't have that luxury. And as I said earlier, when you read the Mueller report, it is clear to me that the president abused his power, obstructed justice, and tried to get others to do the same. We have an obligation to address that and take the action that has been given to us by the Constitution. I think Bob Mueller was also pretty clear. It would have been great if he had drawn a prosecutorial decision, but he didn't. Right. But I think he laid out the case that it's Congress' responsibility, and he's given it to us to act, and we need to do that.
By the way, you sound like you think Bob Mueller wasn't clear enough. That I had somebody on my panel on Sunday say he took a mulligan and hit it into the lake.
Well, what I said a couple of months ago on a confidential phone call that I was on with the Democratic caucus was that I wish he had been clearer, but he did leave us, my words, breadcrumbs to follow. Okay. And so it would have been great if he had drawn all the conclusions. He didn't, but we know in our hearts what the right decision is, and we have work to do.
Congresswoman Val Demings from Central Florida, thanks very much for coming on and sharing your views. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hello, YouTubers. If you're watching this, it means you've checked out our channel, so thank you. Now do me a favor, subscribe by clicking on that button down there. Click on any of the videos to watch the latest interviews and highlights from MTP Daily and MSNBC. You can get more Beat the Press content every morning in the First Read newsletter. If you're tired of content that you don't know anything about where it came from, you don't have to have that problem with us. NBC News, MSNBC, MTP, and the Meet the Press mindset right here for you on YouTube. Subscribe now.